Hello, C and Scarlet. Welcome in. We are glad you're here. I am trying so hard to be so excited about soccer. We are coming off like what day, it feels like a hangover, day 2 of the United States women's national team.
Okay.
I know. I can't even
I'm better
face it.
now, but yesterday I was not.
Uh,
We're recording
unwell.
this a few days before you're gonna listen to this episode, by the way. But
That
it
is
is
true.
one day after the defeat.
That is true. That's the sad soccer news that we are not going to talk about. But what we are going to talk about is
Moving
Texas
on.
Tech soccer, baby. Thank y'all for repairing my heart after
Thank
after that
goodness.
game. Oh my gosh.
We have something
Okay.
else to look forward to. That's it. Like one of the immediate things I thought about. One was
I
like,
know.
oh, the Olympics aren't that far away. Actually, yay,
Mm-hmm.
can watch them again. But also,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, Texas Tech soccer. I'm fully invested
Texas
now.
Tech
This starts on
soccer.
Friday. Let's go.
August 11th, y'all. It is time to kick it off for really I know we've done some coverage on it, and the more that I've read and the more that I'm looking into our schedule, y'all, this year for Texas Tech soccer is a huge year with the roster that we have, our returners, the youth of our team, all
Very
of it
young,
is just it feels really optimistic and really good. So I'm really excited
vibes.
about
The
this.
vibes
The
are vibing.
vibes. We've been interviewing. We have our interview with Kylie. We have some others in the works too.
By the time
so.
you're hearing this, you would have heard Madison White's interview came out yesterday.
She's so
in real
good.
time.
She is
That
so
interview
funny.
Is great. Everything
yeah.
went to keep her
Yeah,
high
exactly.
energy. She would have
Exactly.
been fun to watch in PK. She would have.
Oh.
Alyssa Nair did great. Just kidding.
Alyssa Nair
That was she
carried
won.
the
She
team
even
on her back.
flippin' scored a goal herself. That
She
girl.
said, "I'm gonna take care of this."
"I'ma got
Y'all-
you." VAR screwed her over in the end. All right, moving on.
Okay, we
Texas
can't
Tech
talk about-
soccer.
We are clearly over it.
Clearly.
we
Oh, man.
we love Texas Tech soccer. And Shelby, you're totally right. Like the people that we've talked to so far, we have a really cool interview coming up with another
Captain
key
of the
player.
team.
Oh, Hannah, really excited to talk to her. So yeah, make sure that you're following along to see these interviews because, like I said, I think the season's going to be really good.
be
I
fun.
know I say this with every sport, but this could be
We're a little biased.
the national championship team.
Oh wow!
Wow. I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Prove me wrong.
I was thinking NCAA tourney, but let's go. I mean,
Prove me wrong.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was Maddie White that said this. Is why not? She's like, soccer is that sport that you just catch fire. Like Alabama, they didn't win it all last year, I don't think, but they made it pretty far, kind of
Yep.
out of nowhere.
Sometimes
Why
it works
not
out that
us?
way. It's a beautiful game.
There's talent on this team, which you're about to tell us. So I will
Exactly.
shut up and let you do your thing.
It's all good. I love it. This is healing me, so
Yes,
I
it
appreciate
is.
it. So Texas Tech soccer starts their season with an exhibition game at Denver, the University of Denver. Because don't they say like DU, but it's like the University of Denver? I don't know. Whatever.
Nobody knows. They're just making stuff up.
It is what it is. So they play Denver August 11th. That is 3 p.m.
Tomorrow.
Central Time.
listen to
Yeah,
this on Thursday.
tomorrow. I know. You're better at that than I am. Sometimes I'm like, where are we? But yes, this will be the first match for Tech. After training, after 2-a-days, they've been hustling and
have.
grinding through it.
Been working.
So this will be the first game for Texas Tech, but on the flip side, this is going to be Denver's second game of the year so far. They actually play LSU on Wednesday, so they'll have some dirt under the boots
Yeah.
before they get to us. But
Fair.
you know, we'll see what happens there. But what I could research from our history with Denver. In terms of what has been recorded, so there might be a lot of things that aren't existent on the internet and women's sports, yada yada yada. But we haven't beat Denver yet, as far as I can
I would
tell
just,
in
like,
this
just
format.
Put this out there that I don't even think if we win this game, it counts as a win. Because it's listed as an exhibition match, which is
Right.
essentially a scrimmage.
Right.
So I think that's what's happened. Is because I think you said it's been since like a long time since we played.
Yeah, it was like
them.
1999, 2001, or something
But
like that. So
According to like Kylie, when we talked to her, they played them last year. That was
Okay.
her first game in the Tech uniform. So I think
Cool.
these are exhibition games, and so we see them on the schedule, but then they disappear forever, and you have no idea how the
This
game
never
actually happens. So
Yeah.
that's
So,
my guess. So this,
And I
That's
don't
what
want,
all that is.
yeah, and I appreciate that. And I don't want that to like deteriorate like what this game could tell us. And we'll talk about that
For
here in a
sure.
minute. So make sure y'all are buckled in. So Denver is a really good team in their conference. They are coming off winning their 5th straight Summit League regular season title.
Okay.
They have 24 like
Casual.
returners. Yeah, it's their roster is pretty stacked. A lot of talent, a lot of again returners.
Good test. I like it.
Exactly. Yes, and they have some key players that I'm going to be looking for. Really, just like making sure that we're taking care of business.
Marking them appropriately.
Exactly. So they have their returner, their goal leader from last year, Cameron Macmillan, points leader, Caitlin Glover. Another goal leader was Sydney Sharp. She had an injury last year. So it seems like they're returning and they're returning in full force, which is like, give it to me.
It'll be a great test for what we feel like is the strength of our team, right? On the
You're totally right. Yeah, you're totally right. It's really cool that we are going to Denver, like we talked about a little bit with Kylie, that we have a lot of players from Colorado in that area. So I think I counted like 4 or 5 Red Raiders that are from Colorado. So that'll be cool for them to have that experience heading back home. But you're right. This is going to be a really, really good matchup, whether we win or lose. I
wouldn't focus on a score in an exhibition game.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be playing people that he's going to be figuring out lineups for sure.
Yeah, lineups.
The first half, though, might be a good, depending on how long the starters play. It's like a preseason football game in the NFL. Think of it that way, y'all.
There you go. Yeah. So you're right. I think this is a good test to our roster, what lineups make sense. Also to see new players like Alex Kerr, our transfer from Vandy, and see how she fits in with the team, knowing that she's already cooking. She's already on fire. To continue that for her, how we can fit her in.
A highlight from practice of her scoring. It's hard to tell. I'm giving her credit for it.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Those have been really cool. There's also they dropped a clip that I don't know who's doing marketing. We need to figure that out. That'd be a cool interview to have for our women's teams because what I've seen from soccer has been really cool. Really,
it has been good.
Really fun. So, but yeah, how I'm feeling about this game is if we win, this will feel really good from the players, I would imagine, coming out of like training and 2-a-days. What we talked about earlier, the youth of this team is youthful.
Good.
And they're really good. So I think this will help in confidence and just preparing to play against, some good teams. Denver is a good team, granted different conference, whatever the case may be there.
Good is good.
Good is good.
We recruit from that market for a reason. They got talent on that team. Those players could play in the Big 12, I'm sure.
Totally.
They just chose to stay home.
Yeah. So that'll be awesome. And then based on the internet record books, Shelby, this will be the first win that we have against Denver. So let's make some history.
Based on the internet, we haven't played them since 2001.
Correct. So, did we have internet back then?
Been in multiple wars since then as a country.
Jeez. Shelby. That's true. So I think this is going to be this is a great first match for us to kind of figure things out. And then, if things don't go our way, it's a great reset before we have New Mexico. That's another away game. We have New Mexico State coming coming to Lubbock. So our first home game is August 20th against New Mexico State.
Which you may not hear from us because Sibby is coming back to Lubbock, so she'll be traveling next week.
That's right.
Just lead up to that game. Will you get to be at the game? The 20th? It's in
Lubbock?
I
mean, if I'm there, I'm there.
All right, let's go. So you may not hear about that game until then, so I don't know if you have any tidbits on them you want to share, but basically that's the first real one to care about.
Yeah, we'll if I'm there, depending on like travel plans. But
for sure,
live tweeting, y'all, it's gonna be a good time.
Fun.
It's gonna be so good.
I don't know that we're gonna be able to watch this game. So if we can, we will live tweet it, even though it's basically a scrimmage. But we will give you the deets if we can.
That's how we do it.
As of now, it doesn't say that it's on TV anywhere, so or streaming or anything. But maybe it will be.
whatever. Maybe they don't want to broadcast us completely dominating.
Yeah. Also, why they don't have
boring,
any history on their website about any of the games we've played
They're
them
like,
in recent
nobody
years.
can remember this.
They didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Don't know.
That makes me think we beat them in these exhibitions. But anyway, carry on.
Watch us be so wrong.
No, they sound good. So, like, I'm not saying that, but
they are. Yeah.
They're a good team. It just the record books aren't there. So
I know. I hear you. But so really looking forward to that. Not much that I have other than, it's just we're going to see what's going to happen from this and start moving. And the start of the season is always really exciting. Mm-hmm. I had when I was researching Denver, stumbled upon something that I think is really cool.
Yeah, let's go.
That fits into our mission of this show. And we celebrate women. We celebrate women in sports. And this was a story that I remember seeing last year, and it was history. So you may have seen some of this too, Shelby. I don't know if this is the first time if you read my notes before or not.
I did not. I'm
okay.
Here. Let's go.
Great. Okay. So in the celebration of women, the head coach for Denver, she's the new coach this year. Oh. Her name is Julianne Sitch. What's the Sitch? Yeah. And
I'd have so much fun with that if I was in their media team. Go ahead.
Right. And you might remember there was a video circulating around like social media last year of this woman head coach who had coached her men's soccer team to a national championship. Yeah. This is her.
What?
Yeah. So buckle up. So Coach
hype.
Sitch. Yeah. So she was the head coach for the Chicago men's soccer program. That's cool. And she led them to win their first national D3 title last year. And I think that may have been her first year with the men's team. I don't know.
We might be in for it then.
I know.
No, we like our coaches. We got this.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question. Can I ask a question in the middle of your story?
Go for it.
What happened to the previous coach? Did she get bumped up? I mean, they've won conference for 5 years in a row. She didn't get fired, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I don't know who their coach was. But
whoever they were. I have no idea. That's a great question.
I bet they got bumped up to a different school.
I would say. I'd hope so. And so, she led that team. And so that in itself is history because there hasn't been a recorded anyway. We're talking about keeping records on the internet. This is the same problem.
D3
but
level.
Recorded, this is the first woman who has been a head coach of a men's team to win a NCAA national title.
That's hype. I do remember that video, but we should. Yeah, that's cool.
I know. And I watched interviews about her, and she was like, it never really was like a conversation, and even from the players, they were just
the players don't care either. All that shit is from the athletes don't care. Like the real ones, they don't care if it's a man or a woman coaching them. They just, if they're good, they're good.
Get it done. Yeah.
They wanted to win a national championship, and especially soccer is like basketball. The tactics are the same. The athletes are just different caliber, and the speed of the game is different. Yeah. But the tactics are the same. Yeah. So it makes all the sense in the world.
And she said something like that too in her interview. They're all athletes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's probably a little bit more speed on the men's side, just from a physicality standpoint, so we play a little bit of a different tactic, but so it doesn't. It's not that wild, but people get.
I know, and I mean, like I'd go back and forth on it so much. It's like, like first ever like history.
No, she deserves the pub
I know.
because she had to deal with the shit to get there. But
correct,
it shouldn't be impressive. You know what I mean? But it is impressive because it isn't.
Because of right. Yeah. Exactly. You said it so eloquently.
You're welcome, guys. I'll be here all year.
That was
Give me my Pulitzer.
Well, Shelby, I'm not done with this story yet.
I'm sorry. I get excited.
No, I'm just messing with you. I just don't want to forget. Okay, so the Chicago men's soccer team last season, they were undefeated the whole year, but they had one draw. And that was against NYU, who was coached, head coach of Kim Wantz. And she's a woman coaching a men's team. That was the only draw that they had. And again,
NYU, is that not D1?
Yeah. Oh. Wait, what? I think maybe it was some I don't know, NYU.
No, that's cool. I didn't realize there
It's
was
on
a
the
lot of
webs.
women's coaches at the D1 level on the men's side.
There's not.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's not.
Good for her.
Yeah, it just like
There
it's
should
very
be.
interesting.
Like I said, there's a reason there's men that coach women teams too.
Yeah.
Obviously, our women's team is coached by Tom Stone. It shouldn't
Right.
matter, but that's cool that they're breaking in.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of layers to that, but yes,
Yes.
and that was also the game that was a draw. Was the first recorded match between two men's programs with women as head coaches. So,
That's hype.
yeah, isn't that really cool? And that all like happened last year. So as much as like I'm excited about Texas Tech and all of that, I just wanted to shed some light on that too. And
cool.
yeah,
I love a good
I think it's
story.
really cool. Yeah,
You know
I got
me.
you.
So-
I'm all about the
Cool.
feels,
I'll be cheering
the
for
stories.
them. How
Yeah.
cool would it be if they get runner up in the national championship? Because obviously we're gonna win it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, how cool would that be if we play an exhibition and then this girl goes crazy and just wins all their games? We meet in the national championship.
I think that's a
But
beautiful
I'll be
story.
I'll
that
be
we can
rooting
go
for them for sure outside
Yeah.
of us. So that's neat.
Yeah,
Good for her.
That's
I'm
all.
excited
That's
to
all.
see that.
What it's about, right?
She
Rooting for
sounds. She
everybody.
must be a tactical genius to like.
She's
Not
brilliant.
just it's one thing for her to be the men's side. It would have been just as impressive if she took a women's soccer team to their to a national championship or her first ever head coaching job at any level is silly. So you do that at the high school level. That's silly. So can
Yeah, she's
she
brilliant.
coach the women's national team?
There might be a job opening coming up soon, but we're not talking about it.
I wish we
Shelby.
could talk to her. I wish we could talk to Tom Stone. Like they can't say it publicly, but like, what would you have done with this team? Because anyway, sorry, we're moving on.
I totally agree. But yeah, she's really great. She played professionally. Like she's done so much for the game of soccer. So it'll be really cool to see just her coaching a women's team at a different level, a different level.
Yeah, it's the next step up.
So it's good for
Two
her.
steps up.
That's right, jumping.
I'm hyped.
Yeah,
Let's
of
go.
course. So yeah, that game's coming up. My prediction.
yes,
and
let us know.
Do I have any type of evidence? Maybe
No.
not. But you
Just
know what I
gut
do
feeling,
have?
you
I have a gut feeling, and
Let's
I
go. Let
have
us know.
a
I'm out.
love for this team. So here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be take notes. Thank you. Yeah, make sure you're recording.
I'm going
now.
to show this to the people next
Yeah,
week.
we're not recording this on video, but we need to make sure that we're writing
on
it down.
video.
So we're gonna get 2 goals in this match.
'Kay.
We're definitely gonna see one from our junior, which I hope she will read her DMs one day. The junior forward that we have with Ashley Williams, she is
Ashley,
so
come on the
so
pod.
so good. So I imagine we'll see her pick it right back up like nothing happened. She's gonna score.
So bad.
And you know what, Shelby? We're going to get another goal, and it's going to come from
Oh.
Alex Kerr. She's going to
Newbie.
say,
Let's
hey,
go.
you know what? I'm here. This is what you're going to get. Our transfer from Vanderbilt, if you haven't heard, go watch our video about her. Those are going to be the 2 goals that happen. And guess what else, Shelby, is going to happen? We're going to have a shutout
Well,
because
obviously.
none other than Madison White
Goes
is
without
going
saying.
to be keeping it clean sheet.
That would be impressive because here's my matchup to watch in this game, just based on your preview, because you did such an eloquent job here, is I am now very excited to see the matchup between our backline, Madison White, and these stalwarts, it sounds like, at the front of the Denver offense, if you would call it that. And their leading returner, and you said their leading goal scorer is coming back, and then their goal scorer
All of
from
them.
2 years ago is coming back that was out injured, and their second leading goal scorer from last year. They got scores all over the field from every angle. It's not just like focusing on one player, it sounds like. And our back line, from what I have come to learn, is we know about Madison White, all Big 12 goalie, second team. Robbed, if you ask me, for first team. But anyway, she'll get that this year. And you know her story, because if you haven't listened to her interview, it's out now. It's great.
so good.
Her whole story about her first start or not start, but her first game action is one of my favorite stories we've ever heard on the podcast.
I know, and there was so much that I didn't know that
It's so great. We might share the
hearing
whole
her
clip,
perspective.
like 5-minute clip
Yes.
on social media. It's so brilliant. I love it all. She's one
so
of my
good.
favorite players on campus for any sport now. I love Madison White. And then you have in front of her Kylie Barr, who we talked
Kylie
about,
Barr.
all Big 12 team this past year, U.S. Youth National Team invite player, top 40 player in the country when you look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
On
And
one of
we
the,
have-
is she like a back, like a side? Because she's talking about getting up and scoring this year. She must be a what's it
outside.
called? A wing back? Is that I don't know the terminology.
outside center,
outside back, outside
back.
There we go. She's one of them players, and then you have Macy Blackburn.
Mm-hmm.
I believe her name. She
Yes.
was an all Big 12 player 2 years ago, but similar to
She's
this
great.
girl for Denver, she's also on that back line, and she was injured last year and is back. And then of course you have it was Hannah on the back line, or she midfield. Our captain.
Hannah Anderson is a senior, returning senior defender, and she, like you're talking about, like I think you were talking before we started recording or maybe just now, but she was 2022's All Big 10 or All Big 12 first team.
Yeah.
Hannah is going to take care of business, and they might
It's
not
a good
even
balance.
get to Madison.
Two senior. Well, she's not a senior. She's a junior, right? Hannah is.
No, Hannah's a senior.
Is she? Well, oh, God
Yeah.
dang it. I thought we had 2 years left with her.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
I know. Brutal. But yeah, so we have Hannah. We have all of the correct players to match up against them.
It's a good test.
And yeah, it's going to be a really fun test. And I hope they have a really great time and learn a lot.
I hope they have a lot of fun.
Make friends. I hope they make friends and nobody gets injured.
Yes,
and
that is the goal in exhibition play. I doubt they play a full 90. All these people. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I don't know what they're going to do. But
right. Yeah.
they might, because they have a long time off until.
Sure.
But
Until New Mexico.
I know Tom Stone's been quoted in some of these interviews, which shout out to the school. Is it KTXT? Ugh.
Yeah.
Is that right? They've been doing such a great job. Maybe we should start having some of the student reporters come on and report. That would be cool, because I'd love to support them about their going to practices.
Cool.
We'll reach out to y'all if you're listening to this.
Shelby, you are so creative.
Yeah, I love that. But they've been doing such a great job covering
They have.
all the sports. They were at football today.
Truly.
They sent them out, and they've gotten some really good footage of interviews with the players at their first day of training. And Tom Stone talked about how deep this team is. It's the deepest team he's had in a long time, he said, which is either a good thing or a bad thing depending on how the players respond. But he is confident the players are, based on the first day of practice, responding well, because there's I don't even, like, we're talking about that back line, but maybe there's someone else that's going to challenge for a spot, but that seems on paper that's who's going to be. And then you have all those freshmen that Kylie talked about, Madison's talked about in their interviews, that have been here since January. They've been here.
Yeah.
And there's some stalwarts. I think they say Cartwright, named to watch as a freshman in the midfield. So I'm excited.
Let's do it.
I'm hyped for soccer this year. I always watch them just for funsies, but now we're covering them. And
I know.
the World Cup, like, I'm in soccer mode.
Let's do it. And
I don't have
even,
to get out of it.
I think coming out of last year too, Tech finished third in the Big 12 last year. They had a really great. They had a really great season.
It was a down year. They didn't make the tournament, but
I know. Yeah.
third place in the conference.
Yeah, and I think what we talked about too with Madison and Kylie is like all the different teams that we get to play. We talked about conference realignment, all that good stuff.
Our schedule is not easy. Bless.
Yeah.
I was looking at it the other day. We have
Right.
There's 4 Big 12 teams ranked in the top 25. We get this pleasure of playing all 4 teams, which you don't play all the teams in the Big 12 in soccer in the regular season, but we get to play all of them that are ranked, and 3 of them are on the road. And there's one at home against our big rival in soccer, which would be TCU, who's top
That's right.
10, number 8 preseason ranked, probably the favorite to win the conference. Not probably, is the favorite to win the conference, them or BYU. That one is at home, but it comes in a stretch of 3 straight games in October against top 25 teams. You have, I think it's like at BYU, home against TCU, at UCF, or switch that order. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
It's a tough schedule. And we ain't playing cupcakes in the preseason either, because, I mean, even Denver is a good exhibition game, doesn't count. But New Mexico State, we always play them. That'll be a test. They've beaten us a few times. They're so familiar with us. But you play Arizona, you play Arizona State, both on the road. We just talked about them in a previous episode in soccer, joining the Big 12.
Yeah.
They're going to be well prepared.
I know.
They're going to have a chance to make the tournament just based on strength of schedule alone.
Truly. Yeah. It'll be a really, really fun soccer season. And I think, they go to BYU. They come back home for that TCU game, which is, if y'all are going to pick one game to go to besides all of them.
Absolutely. And they
go
want
to that
it
TCU
so
game.
bad. All the players are talking about they haven't beaten TCU. And they tied them last year, but they haven't won.
Which is huge, but
Like, a tie was big on the road, but we get them at home. They're gonna,
And then-
I mean, conceivably be a top 10 team then too.
Yeah, and then
make
they
it
turn
happen.
around and go to UCF. So yeah,
Which they
you were
seem
right.
excited about, but they're a top 25
Yeah,
team.
they're like Florida in October. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I don't blame
yeah.
them, but it'll be a fun game.
So this is the start. Obviously, well ahead of a lot of our sports. We'll talk about volleyball. They start up pretty soon too, and
that next week, yeah.
uh-huh,
Maybe we'll have a
so-
recap of their first game by the time we see y'all again, because we're
I
off
know.
next week. We will have an
Yeah.
interview next week for you.
we have
So
a-
this
yeah.
is the last time you'll hear from us in one of these little episodes for about a week or two, a week and a half until we're back. But we will have an interview coming out next week with the captain of the soccer team, Hannah Anderson. El
Hannah.
Capitan taking over for Charlotte Teeter, who was Texas Tech through and through. We will miss her.
Through and
that
through.
goes without saying. We didn't say
Yep.
that in this episode, but that is a big shoes to fill there. But I think the depth of talent helps you do that, is what
know.
I'm going with.
You're totally right.
To help. She was kind of having to do it on her own, but now she has more friends. The rest of the team's here.
More friends. See, It's all
Hannah's
about
stepping
making
into that
friends.
captain role. She's ready to go.
Yes. So catch the Red Raiders. Well, I guess maybe the
Hopefully.
aftermath of it.
We'll, we'll tweet off the
We'll
stats
try.
if we have to. We'll keep you updated, but I think New Mexico
yeah.
State on the 20th. Get out there. Have a good time.
It's gonna be good. But yeah, again, August 11th, 3 p.m. Central.
Let's go.
Tech's first kick. So yeah, that's what I got. Wreck 'em, baby. Let's get it. Let's
Wreck
get
'em.
it done.
Sports are
my
here,
s-
y'all. It's the first
the
fall sport
sports.
of the year. Texas Tech. Let's go. I'm so hyped.
Cool. Wreck 'em, y'all.